Hey guys, so in this video we're going to look at a task that's going to involve, several steps here. We have four tables, or two tables and two graphs, however you want to look at it, that they each represent the speed of a different object. Now, the question is pretty basic. We're going to list the objects in order from the fastest to the slowest. Now, obviously, to do that, we need to come up with a unit rate or a constant. Those are basically the same piece of information depending on how you use them. So let's just get right to it. Now, the good thing about these is that you notice that these are both lines that go through the origin, so which means we're in direct proportion there. And down here, we're actually being told that C and D move at constant speeds, which is a good piece of information because that means we really only have to find the unit rate or the constant for one set of numbers in each, and that'll go for all of them. If we didn't know this, we could still do it. So let's just start with A, and I'm going to write on top of these and try not to be too awful messy. So let's just pick a spot on this line that's pretty easy to read and use that one. So right here, I'm just going to pick this spot pretty arbitrarily. And this point is 60 meters per 3 seconds. So I'm just going to write that out, 60 meters in 3 seconds. Now, pretty simple math here. 60 divided by 3 is 20. We keep the meters and the seconds, so that's meters per second. That's the speed of that one. And by the way, you'll notice that if you come down here to the 1 second line on the x-axis, you'll notice that comes right at the 20. In fact, this entire line, because it is a straight line and it goes through the origin, this entire line represents 20 meters per second. Up here with 100 over 5, that's 20. Any spot at all, 40 over 2, that's 20. So any of this at all would have given us the same unit rate. All right, moving on to object B. I'm going to just do the same thing. Just pick an easy spot here. There's 40 meters in 4 seconds. It's easy to read because it's right on the crosshairs. So again, 40 meters in 4 seconds. Again, 40 over 4 is just 10. This is going to be meters per second. And again, if we go to the 1 second, we could have just said that's 10 meters per 1 second. That's not a coincidence. This entire line represents this speed. All right, hopping down here to the tables. Now, because we're told that each of these moves at a constant speed, we're just going to pick one relationship and go with it. So I'm just going to pick the 10 and the 3 and just go from there. 10 meters over 3 seconds ends up being 3 and 1/3 meters per second. Okay? And finally, in object D, again, I'm just going to pick any random one here. I'll pick 20 meters over 3 seconds. And that simplifies to 6 and 2/3 meters per second. Okay? Now, it's worth noting that if I had picked 10 over 1.5 or 30 over 4.5, I would get the same thing. Now, it's also worth noting right here that in each of these relationships, you have 0 and 0 being paired together at some point. Okay? That's very important because if 0 and 0 are not paired together, that means there is another operation acting upon these numbers that takes them off the origin, which means the entire line or the entire table will not be in direct proportion to each other. And we have other videos covering that coming pretty soon. So now the easy work is we're just going to list these from fastest to slowest. We're all talking about 1 second here, so object A goes the furthest amount of distance in 1 second, and then the second fastest would be B, and then D is next, and then C is the slowest of the group. Okay, so we have our answer, and we have clearly justified that in all four objects. Takes a few minutes, a few steps there, but it's a very basic skill. Okay, thanks guys. See you next time.